Hey guys, Magnus Robert here, bringing you another video. This one we're going to be doing a video on another event idea. So I kind of wanted to have this out last week, but I just didn't get around to putting it together. But now I've thrown it together so we can do the video. So this is an ARPU event. I'm calling it an ARPU event just because it is a mini event. It's not a major event, but the reason I'm calling it the ARPU event is because the title of the episode is quite long. And to be honest, most of the new mini events don't tend to call the mini event by the episode name. So I'm going to call it the ARPU event. But the actual episode name is The Two Mrs. Nahasapeemapetilons. And that's right, I can say it. So, yeah, I'm going to just nickname this the ARPU event. So, let's get into it. So, yeah, this is going to focus around ARPU, by the way, of course, who's a beloved character. And should not be axed from The Simpsons. Anyway, we're going to be going to the store first. So there isn't really loads in the store, I'll be honest. This is a mini event. So the first thing is the Civic Center. This is for 40 donuts. The reason I'm putting this here is because it was seen in the episode, the Two Mrs. Nahasapeemapetilons episode. So I figured it makes sense to add into the game. But yeah, it's just a demolition derby thing. It's a little different now. The Civic Center used to be called the Community Center that we have in the game already, but this does look completely different. So I mean, I think they should just add this as a separate building. And then we have the Octopia stage with ARPU's Octopod Woods. Now the Octopia stage was not, and obviously the Octopod Woods were not in the Two Mrs. Nahasapeemapetilons. The Two Mrs. Nahasapeemapetilons episode is, of course, the one where ARPU marries Manjula. So of course they're not there. So they haven't been born yet or even conceived yet. So but I decided that it would make sense to add them into this event, considering they weren't added into the zoo event, which I think that they should have been, because the Octopia stage is of course run by Larry Kidkill, and Larry Kidkill runs the zoo, and this was meant to be like almost like a exhibit. So I think it would have made sense to throw into the zoo event, but they didn't do it. But whatever, I'm okay with that. I think that it could be added in this event as well if they did something like this. So they would be the premium characters. So 185 donuts. The reason that they're a little bit more expensive than the standard 150 now, it is coming with a decoration. So this will be a decoration, not a building. But they are essentially they are one character, but they essentially earn the money of 8 characters. So you are buying 8 characters in one essentially. You're going to be earning 8 times the normal character rate for this character. So I think 185 donuts is a fair price. Now they basically they will just walk as a bundle. On their own, so there will be one character. I think it's just easier just to do that, so they'll just be called ARPU's Octoputlets. I don't think they should be individual characters. I guess they could be, but I wouldn't be too bothered either way. But I kind of would prefer them just being one character, because it's not like they each individually have characteristic traits that stand out. I mean, they are literally just there to be the generic, oh look, ARPU had 8 kids. So I think they could be a cool 8-in-1 character. Anyway, moving on to the quest line. So ARPU and Manjula want to renew their wedding vows and have saved enough money for it. Springfield is excited that this is happening, so you make ARPU count his money, make Homer prepare a stag do, or like a night out before obviously ARPU renews his vows, and make Springfielders gossip about wedding. Of course, this won't be just them gossiping, it'll be other things, because obviously you always have the different tasks, but just as a general thing, they're going to be gossiping. And then after you've done that, you will actually unlock the Pontiac Firebird, which is, of course, ARPU's car. So essentially, ARPU, you find out that he's bought his car back instead, and they no longer have quite enough money for the wedding. ARPU is forced, but maybe like Miss Hoover comes along, she's like, well, I've got some pipes that need cleaning, and then a bunch of other like girlfriends that he's had, or ex-dates that he's had, come forward and be like, yeah, you can do some handiwork, in quotations. So yeah. So ARPU does the handiwork for his ex-dates / girlfriends. Make ARPU do handiwork, and then of course make Springfielders moan about the delay or something like that. You know, the Springfielders aren't particularly happy because they were excited to see this culturally different wedding or something like that. And of course after that you will unlock this house here, which is actually Miss Hoover's house. So yeah, this is Miss Hoover's house. I think this would be kind of cool to get in the game because of course it's a thing that we haven't got before. It's a house that we saw that in the episode, but I just kind of would like to see Mrs. Hoover's house because I think it's good to add houses. It was just kind of makes me think, why didn't they just add her with her house in the first place instead of adding her with the cocoa bean and the fudge factory. Whatever. But whatever. Moving on. So yeah, the wedding is back on, and Homer wants to make the wedding and stag do as exciting as possible. So you make Homer make his surprise, make Apu practice his vows, make Springfield prepare for the wedding. And this will unlock Ganesh Homer. So this is a costume for Homer. Possibly a little offensive, but I think it would be okay. I mean, it was in The Simpsons. It's not highly offensive. I mean, maybe it is. I'm not Hindu, so I wouldn't know. I don't really know any Hindus, so I wouldn't know. But yeah, I think this would be pretty cool as a costume. So Apu gets mad at Homer, and he comes out in his Ganesh costume. Apu gets drunk on a stag do, and the wedding approaches. So you make Springfield attend the wedding, make Homer welcome guests, which essentially will use the show Wrath animation. Make Apu nervously awaits. And then, so this will unlock, after you do that, this will unlock the Hindu wedding. So I'll just call this the Hindu wedding. So it basically will be this little table, this little arch thing, the tent, and like the seats. So it'll just be that. So you just place that down. Yeah, this will be a decoration, not a building. But yeah, I think it would be kind of cool. So again, we're literally getting one of each. So we're going to get one decoration. Well, we're getting 2 decorations in the game, but we'll get 1 building, 1 character, 1 costume, which I think is okay. 2 decorations, but they are 2 completely different decorations. And then you get the wedding ensues. Reverend Lovejoy starts reading the Bible instead. Manjula tells him what to say. Apu and Manjula are happy as Springfield cries with happiness. So you make Springfielders cry with happiness. You make Apu renew his vows. And maybe Homer can do something as well. And this will, of course, after you've obviously earned the event currency. By the way, I think the event currency, actually that's a thing. I didn't actually think of event currency. Not that it's a massive deal, but I didn't actually think of that. But then after that, you unlock Apu's mother, who doesn't have a name. It's just Apu's mother. It's just called Apu's mother. But I think she's significant enough as a character, especially in this episode, to be her own character and have her own tasks. So yeah. And then, so the epilogue is Apu's mother turns up and is mad that Apu didn't invite her to the renewal. That's the sort of epilogue. And then, of course, there will be a quest line with Apu's mother, there will be a quest line with Homer Ganesh, and there will be a quest line with the Octopod Woods. So, anyway, let's get into tasks. So, for Homer Ganesh, there is show Wrath for 60 minutes. It's him just waving his arms around, running around Springfield. Study Hindu gods for 4 hours. This will be at his house, the Simpsons house. Hide from angry Hindus for 8 hours, again at the Simpsons house. Get attacked by an elephant for 12 hours. This will be him literally getting like pummeled by an elephant, as he did in the episode. I think that could be hilarious. Just an elephant will spawn. And then offend Hindu wedding guests for 24 hours, which will be, of course, at the Hindu wedding. Then we have Apu's mother. Drag Apu by the ear for 60 minutes. This will be an animation that includes Apu. Basically, she'll just be running Apu around Springfield, holding him by his ear. Visit family for 4 hours. That, of course, will be the apartments, Apu's apartments. Travel to India for 8 hours. This will be in the airport if you have the airport. If you don't have the airport, it will be in... who knows? It can be anywhere. Fall over for 12 hours. This will be an animation. Again, this will just be her falling over repeatedly as she did in the episode. That was just a weird joke that they threw in, but I think it could work for her animation. And then attend Hindu wedding for 24 hours. And this will, of course, be at the Hindu wedding decoration. And then we have the Octopod Woods. So perform at Octopia for 60 minutes. That will be an animation. Practice performance for 4 hours. That will be at the I guess that could be anywhere. That could either be at the Quickie Mart, the Brown House, or Manjula's apartments. Cry for 8 hours. Again, same place. That was meant to be 6 hours actually. Cry for 6 hours. That will be at the That could be the Quickie Mart or the Brown House. Make Mess 8 hours. I think this one should be the one exclusive to Manjula's apartments. So anyone who doesn't have Manjula's apartments only has one task missing. And then Go on the Loose for 12 hours. So this essentially will... Oh, by the way, perform at Octopia is the animation. That will be at the, of course, Octopia stage. Them just doing the little performance they did in the episode. Where they're literally just in cradles, pretty much. But Go on the Loose for 12 hours. And this is animation. This will basically separate the characters into, separate them. So they'll all be separate. And they'll essentially just they'll just be scattered amongst your town. And they'll just be walking around your town. I think this would be a really cool way to do it. So I just really want them to do that. So, yeah, separate the characters for 12 hours. I think that could be a cool little task. and then help run the Quickie Mart for 24 hours. Of course, that will be at the Quickie Mart. So that's it for the ARPU event, or the 2 Mrs. Nahasapeemapetilons event. Yeah, I think this is definitely pretty solid for event. It's not amazing. I think the biggest thing it lacks is buildings, and I do notice that. But there's two okay characters. I mean, the Octopod Woods are solid characters. Arpu's mother, I think, is an okay character as well. I would like to see Arpu's car in the game, and I would like to see the Hindu wedding. I think that could be a pretty cool decoration. Miss Hoover's house as well would be pretty cool. I don't know. I think this event could work. So anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I shall see you next one. Goodbye.